When you're coding in JavaScript, you've got some tools. The and the or and the not, they make the rules. And says both must be true to move ahead, or says one is enough, don't be misled. And the not sets the truth, the false is like a dance. Control your code with logic, give it a chance. Logic in code, and where truth unfolds. Control the flow, let the logic roll. And or not, they're in your hands. Guide your program, help it understand. Now sometimes things aren't what they seem to be. JavaScript reads values differently. What's truthy or falsy, you've gotta know. Like 0 is false, but 1 says go. Not empty strings, oh, they stand so tall. But null and undefined don't work at all. Logic in code, and where truth unfolds. Control the flow, let the logic roll. And or not, they're in your hands. Guide your program, help it understand. But there's one thing more that you gotta see. The order of operations, what will it be? And comes first before ready to lead the dance. But use those parentheses to take a stance. Control the chaos, tame the beast. Decide the flow from the greatest to least. Now let's mix it up, A and B or C. Does it run how you thought it would be? The rules of logic guide us through the storm. They keep your program stable, safe and warm. So practice these rules, keep them in your sight, and you'll master JavaScript all day and night. Logic in code, and where truth unfolds. Control the flow, let the logic roll. And or not, they're in your hands. Guide your program, help it understand. So when you write that line, make it shine. Logic in code, one step at a time.
All right, back in Visual Studio. So we are going to talk about the JavaScript logical operators, and these are comprised of and, or not, and they are represented by these three symbols: 2 ampersands for and, 2 vertical bars for or, and an exclamation for not. So let's go ahead and declare some variables. Let's say A equals 43, let B equals 77. Okay, so now we've got 2 variables, and what we're going to test is we want to see if A is 43 and B is 77. Of course, the expression I just wrote isn't going to do anything. It's not putting it into a variable. It's not piping it into a console.log or anything. So what we want to do is we want to say, let's see, let result equal that, okay? And so this is going to say if A equal 43 and B equal 77, it will give us a true. So I'm going to say console.log result. When I run this, I should get true. Okay. Now, if one of these is incorrect, and that's 78 and not 77, they both don't meet those criteria. Okay. You actually might be having a slight problem here, sort of visualizing what's happening. I'm going to go ahead and put parentheses around this, even though I don't need to for this to work. It's still correct, but those parentheses kind of give you a better idea of sort of how things are grouped. Okay. So I'm going to do something that is going to thrill some of you and is going to scare some of you. I'm going to paste in the truth table for the AND operator. Okay. So here are my inputs. I can have a true and a true. I can have a true and a false. I can have a false and a true. And I can have a false and a false. And the results of all those are going to be, if I have a true and a true, my output is true. And everything else is going to be a false output because AND has to have both inputs as true before its output will be true. Now let's talk about OR. This is one here, and it's represented by two vertical bars. Okay, so what I'm going to do is say result equals, and here again, I'm going to put these parentheses around it, even though they are unnecessary, but I think it might help you do a better visualization. Okay, A equal 43. Remember that stands for or B equals 78. Now remember, when we were using the AND logical operator, this would have been false because 43 is correct, but 78 is not. But the OR operator lets you say, well, if either one is true, my answer is true. So when I do this, I should get true because one or the other is true. Let's go ahead and switch this around. Let's go back to 77 here, and let's go back to 40 here. I still only have one of them that is true, but it's okay. By the way, this is Visual Studio's way of abbreviating things. They're all true. But now let's go ahead and do it even totally different. Let's say that's 40 and this is 70. Now, neither one is true. And when I run this, what will happen is you'll see that the last result is false because one or the other has to be true for the OR operator. So let's take a look at the truth table for OR. And you notice I still have the same inputs, true, 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 false, false, true, false, false. And over here, they're all true except for when these are both false, because the OR operator wants at least one of them to be true in order to give you a true output. Otherwise, it's going to give you a false output. Okay, so I'm going to clear this out a little bit. Hopefully you had a chance to look at it. And by the way, I do have, in the video description, there are links to a lesson and exercises on this topic. But let's take a look at not, represented by a single exclamation. So let me go ahead and declare a variable, let result equals true. Okay, so we already kind of biased ourselves with a true result. Console.log result. Okay, and I'm sure you know what you're going to get here. True. But let's go ahead and say console.log not result. And really what not is going to do is reverse any Boolean that you have. If you have true, it'll make it false. If you have false, it'll make it true. So now I should, my console.log should output a true and then a false, because a not true is false. Okay, and to sort of complicate this, I'm going to go back to an exercise we had before. Let's see, let A equals 43, let B equals 77 is what I had. So this should give us true because one or the other of those is correct, all right? So that's great. Now what we can do though is we can completely reverse the results of this. If we put a not in front of it, that reverses it from true to false. So you can actually combine these operators. So I'm going to go ahead and create some variables. Let A equals true, let B equals false, let C equals, say, true. So I can say let result equals A and B or C. And it's just going to go from left to right to evaluate this expression. So we do a console.log result, and you'll see what we get. Okay.